name is Beth Boucher, and I'm from Inspiring Young Learners. I am passionate about supporting teachers who work with ELL students. My desire is to help you have the tools and confidence to support second language learners in your classroom. Today we are going to address 5 possible misconceptions you might have about your students and give you some different perspectives to think about. This will help us reflect and prepare for all the different cultures and backgrounds that ELL students might bring into your classroom. So let's begin. Misconception number 1. ELL students are not intelligent because they cannot speak English. This thought might not be said aloud, but I have seen the sentiment inwardly expressed before when speaking about non-English students. We need to be very careful to place our opinions of someone's intellectual level when assessing them in their second language. I have taken Spanish for many years and would be embarrassed if somebody judged my intelligence only when they heard me speak Spanish. Instead, in order to gain a better understanding of the student's academic level, try to give them an assessment in their native language if possible. If you are working with Spanish speakers, I have available a language proficiency assessment in Spanish. Find someone else in the school to run this quick assessment if you're unable to speak Spanish, and it will give you a wealth of information. If the student has a strong ability to understand, read, and write in their native language, they will be able to transfer the skills pretty easily to English. If they are showing areas of concern in their native language, then this would raise some warning signs, and you might want to begin documenting and making observations of that student to have prepared in case there is something down the road that they might have a learning disability or something that's prohibiting them from learning a new language. Misconception number 2. The parents are not interested in their education. In my years teaching and working with many parents of ELL students, I found many different reasons the parents were unable to be as actively involved as we wanted, and never was that reason because they were not interested. I think one of the biggest hindrances is the language barrier for many of the parents. It's important for us as teachers to try to bring down that barrier by trying to get a translator when meeting with the parents or hosting a bilingual family night. Another reason might be because of working multiple jobs or having younger siblings at home that need to be cared for. I know in other cultures where parents have a trust and respect for the teachers and they believe you are qualified to do your job, so they don't feel the need to come in and ask questions all the time. The point is to try your best and make connections with these families so that you can gain a better understanding of the background that they are coming from. Misconception number 3. ELL students should speak English at home. If you have ever learned a second language, you would know how your brain feels when it is maxed out. This happens to my brain after an hour of listening to another language, so imagine these students listening in English for a whole day. That's a lot of immersion, and the reality is the brain will not take on more if they keep it up at home. It is important they take a break and that you encourage the parents to keep up their native language at home through conversation, through reading to them. The stronger the students are in the native language, the easier it will be for them to transfer to English. So it's really important you encourage that. I've seen a lot of times where parents really try to push English at home in hopes that their students will learn it quicker, or for students who really don't want to speak their native language anymore because of embarrassment or maybe because they want to be more like their peers at school, and so they stop speaking their native language. But the reality is, it's great for them to be listening to it and working on it at school, especially with a native English instructor, and to keep up their native language at home. So make sure to encourage that with the parents. Misconception number 4. Students should only speak English at school. This is a tough question to tackle because the purpose for these students in school is to learn and succeed in English. But how do you balance allowing them to use their native language? The downfall to allowing students to use their native language at school is that they could get comfortable and they won't be challenged to practice speaking. And we know without practice, you can't go very far in a language. I once had a 6th grader newcomer from Mexico who made it seem that he could not speak any English. And he constantly would respond in Spanish and he wouldn't really challenge himself at all. Little did I know that he had so much information inside his head. And as soon as I made a game out of speaking and giving little paper clips to the person who spoke the most and they would win a prize at the end of a lesson, He was speaking the whole class in English. He had so much that he was able to say. But it wasn't until he was forced to practice and put into practice the things he's been learning. So that's why it's really important that we do push kids to speak English in school, especially in the classroom setting. But the other side is we want those students to have a voice still, and we want them to feel comfortable in their surroundings. So I think times like during recess or in the cafeteria are perfect opportunities for them to be able to speak in their native language, especially if there's peers who speak the same language, and gives them that outlet to feel comfortable with their peers and to be able to have a voice. Misconception number 5. ELL students are the responsibility of the ESL teacher. We know this isn't true, but the reality is it is hard for a homeroom teacher to differentiate for the complex needs and support a newcomer student has while in the classroom with 25 other students. This was the case for me, and 8 years ago when I had my first newcomer in a mainstream classroom from Bulgaria, I had no materials, little training, and even less time to figure out how to help this student. This has stuck with me over the years and has fueled this passion to give you the materials, training, and your time back so that these newcomers can enjoy learning English and feel supported in the mainstream classroom. Imagine the growth of these students when they are supported well in both pull-out sessions and their homeroom. So who are our ELL students? They're inspiring, unique, interesting, and bring such incredible stories and perspectives into your classroom. I know it can be challenging to work with a non-English speaker at the beginning, but to see a student's excitement when they begin to pick up the language will be worth it all. Are you looking for curriculum and resources for your ELLs? You can find more at inspiringyounglearners.com or on TPT at Inspiring Young Learners. If you're interested in more resources and videos to help you support your ELLs, make sure to subscribe to my website for freebies, and when new videos are posted, you'll be notified. Thank you so much for your time and for all you do to inspire young learners.